Welcome to another episode of Tough Talk Tuesday. As always, I'm your host, Lucas Biggers. Alongside me, I have Rob, I have Sakura, I also have Lamont Sullivan from 4Champ Promotions, and I'm also going to have Giannis and Nick, some of Lamont's and 4Champ Promotions new signees. Welcome, everybody.
Thank you.
Hi.
I want to jump right into it and kind of get to know you guys. Can you tell us a little bit about yourselves?
You want Yanni or you want Nico to start?
It don't matter. Whoever wants to start.
Okay, let's start with the youngest one.
All right.
Giannis, he's 20 years old. He fights at 135 pounds. He's making his professional debut on the April 2nd show in Hammond, Indiana. He lives just outside of Athens. He's Greek from Kazakhstan. He recently won the Greek Championships in Athens, the under 22.
All right.
He's been here for about 3 weeks, just over 3 weeks. We are training at Robert Garcia's academy in Riverside. Great sparring, very, very promising young man. Hardworking kid. He only speaks a few words of English.
How's he like in America so far?
Πώς σου αρέσει η Αμερική μέχρι τώρα?
Είναι υπέροχα και έχω βολευτεί.
He says it's absolutely wonderful. This is his second time. He was here 2 years ago. He should have been here earlier. The same with Nico. Due to COVID, they couldn't fly out of the country. They both stayed for 3 months. And the first time that they were in the country, they had a wonderful training camp. And he's very, very, very comfortable being here. He likes the lifestyle. He likes the place that we're staying at in Southern California. He loves the United States. He wants to improve his English. And so far, he's been a good fit.
Okay. And how would you describe his fighting style?
Yanni is an aggressive boxer puncher. Very fast reflexes. He's how should I say it? He has a very, very stubborn style. It's all about putting in his last word. He likes to have the last word in the ring. So I'm very, very, very happy with his work. It's only his debut. It's just the beginning for him. But he has been sparring already established fighters at 135, 140 and higher weight classes. And he has been impressing throughout the current training camp. So looking forward to April 2nd.
All right. And let's get some backstory there on Nick, his weight.
Nico is 26 years old. He lives in the northern part of Greece, in a small town close to the border with Bulgaria. When he first started boxing, he had to take a 2.5 hours bus ride to the nearest boxing gym. He was a Greek champion before as an amateur. Again, he was here 2 years ago. Uh, he was in the special forces in Greece. His father was in the military. His mother is Greek from Russia. He doesn't speak any Russian. Giannis speaks Russian. Extremely hardworking kid. He fights at 160 pounds. They call him the Greek Canelo over here because of his fighting style. He's an aggressive puncher. He's about 5'9", super thick body, very, very strong, big, thick legs, thick upper body, small waist, a lot of movement, and he loves to work the body. He absolutely loves to work the body. Patty McGirt, he was super impressed with both kids 2 years ago when they were here. Okay. All the gyms that we went. His boxing name is Grexican, and there is a very old gym here, the Maywood Boxing Gym in the city of Maywood. And basically it has 2 rings when you walk in, and in both rings, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday morning is nothing but wars, literally. And it's full of Mexicans. So when I took Nico there, he started sparring the Molina brothers. Okay. And basically he said, we're gonna do 6 rounds, and he stopped them in 4. So from there, they gave him the Grexican nickname. For Yanni, his nickname is the Greek Assassin, and James Toney gave him this name because he loved him in the ring when he was fighting Adam Lopez and Isaac Dogboy. Mind you, 2 years ago, he was 18 years old, so his body frame, it was a little smaller. Mm-hmm. Now he just outgrew them, both of them. Mm. And I'm very, very, very excited for both of these young men. Super nice kids, very disciplined, and very, very, very hungry.
I'm excited too. Sounds like some brave, dedicated young men. 2 hours just to the boxing gym. I thought the 3 hours just to see Lamont show was bad, but 2 hours every day, oh man. Woo. I don't know if I could do that. I'm going to go ahead and pass you off. Sakura, one of my other main correspondents, got some questions too.
Well, welcome to America. I want to know.
Thank you.
Yes, I would like to know exactly what you guys miss the most about your hometowns.
Λέει τι έχετε επιθυμήσει πολύ περισσότερο αυτή τη στιγμή από την Ελλάδα.
Τι έχουμε επιθυμήσει. Τίποτα, έχουμε προετοιμαστεί και έχουμε έρθει να δουλέψουμε.
Τίποτα, απλά ήρθαμε εδώ και έχουμε ένα σκοπό.
He says basically nothing, because they're here for a reason, they're here for a purpose, they're here to work. We have everything Greek that we need here. I'm Greek, so they talk to me in Greek all day long. My wife is Korean American, but she cooks every single Greek dish.
Okay.
So they're not shy on food-wise. The landscape in Southern California is very, very similar to Greece. The weather is very, very similar to Greece. But overall, they don't care what they're missing friends-wise and girlfriends-wise and having fun-wise. They're here for a reason, and they're here to do a job. And they are very, very thankful to our promoter for Champs Promotions, to Lemon and Damon, and they can't wait to show what they're made of.
Yeah, it looks like it's really a lot to be looking forward to. 2 aggressive boxers and one being a boxer puncher. I believe you said Giannis is one is am I saying his name right?
Yes, you say like the basketball player.
Giannis. Okay. You're saying he's from Kazakhstan. Like, does he realize that here in America, that's like we're thinking triple G right away? So he has
Yes.
some huge shoes to fill. Tell me what is it that you see any similarities between him and a triple G?
I can't say that I see a lot of similarities in his boxing style, but I do see a lot of similarities in his mental status, in his stubbornness in the ring, in his dominance in the ring. Boxing, apart from the technique and apart from the hard work that you put in the gym and the physical preparation, 90%, if not more, is all mental preparation. And this is where these both young men are, looking good.
That's great. Now, Nicole, I mean, 26, you have this amateur background. Seems like he was really a bad man in the amateurs. How does it feel coming to the US and starting from ground zero, with a new career?
Λέει πώς αισθάνεσαι που ήρθες στην Αμερική και ξεκινάς τα 26 σου χρόνια με καινούργια καριέρα.
Πεινασμένος. Ήρθα εδώ πέρα να δείξω πράγματα τα οποία δεν έχουν δει Έλληνες αθλητές. Όπως και από παλιά οι Έλληνες ήταν Σπαρτιάτες, ήταν πολεμιστές. Αυτή την ψυχή δεν την έχουν δει και ήρθε η ώρα να δούμε κάτι διαφορετικό.
He says, above all, he's hungry. He's hungry for glory, he's hungry for success, and he's hungry to show to everyone that he is a true hard worker in the gym, that he takes nothing for granted, that he's very humble, like both of them are, and very, very respectful. But when he gets into the ring, he leaves everything behind, and he only has one mission. He feels like a true Spartan, like a true warrior, and he's just right here. He's very thankful for the opportunity that he got to come and do it, because a lot of Greek athletes, a lot of Greek fighters do not get these kind of opportunities.
Right.
He knows what he did in Greece and what he was in Greece. It's not what he needs to be here. So he's ready to turn the page and open up a new chapter and show who he really is.
Well, please let him know that that's a boxing fan's dream, to have someone that's ready to leave it all on the line in the ring. So I'm totally looking forward to seeing his style. My last question for both guys that I want to know is exactly what made them fall in love with boxing, from the beginning of their careers.
Λέει, τι είναι αυτό που σας έκανε και αγαπήσατε την πυγμαχία τόσο πολύ που θέλετε να γίνετε επαγγελματίες?
Από την πυγμαχία φαίνεται ο χαρακτήρας σου, φαίνεται η προσωπικότητά σου μέσα στο box. Δηλαδή, σε έναν αγώνα φαίνεται το τι είσαι. Δηλαδή, άμα έχεις κότσια, άμα είσαι δηλός, άμα οτιδήποτε έχει να κάνει με σένα, φαίνεται μέσα σε έναν αγώνα. Γι' αυτό μόλις με δουν στο ring θα με αγαπήσουν κιόλας για τη μαχητικότητά μου.
He says he basically, because when he's in the ring, he can show everyone who he really is. Everyone can see his personality. Everyone can see that he really loves boxing since he was a kid, watching as much as he could. But he feels that boxing is the sport that it truly represents him as a person. And every time he's in the ring, he's just trying to bring the best out of him. And after the fight, we're all friends.
Oh, I love that. I love that so much. Now, the only thing I have last to say is good luck with both of their careers. They're very,
And as far as concerned, little Giannis, sorry to interrupt you, I know, because I know this kid since he was 16 years old.
Okay.
I used to call him on video messenger when I was with my other fighters, when I was at the gyms, and he used to look and he used to dream. And I was telling him, one day you'll be here with me and you'll make your dream come true. And he started boxing when he was young. Both of them, they come from very, very, very small towns. Nothing fancy, nothing posh.
Right.
So he's the same way.
Perfect. I mean, I'm very happy for them to make it to the U.S. and I know that that is like a really exclusive opportunity that Loma has been able to give them. I mean, they're both very handsome gentlemen, so Loma, you shouldn't have any issues with marketing them properly.
Thank you very much.
He's complaining because he hasn't shaved and he hasn't had a haircut. But I told him, just wait until the fight time.
You're good. You're good. Well, good luck to them both.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Appreciate you.
All right, Shakir, I'm going to go ahead and jump in, guys. My name is Robert. Excuse me. Robert, I'm here with the Heavy Bag Boxing team. I have a few questions for both of you together and a few separate. But I just want to jump in here and I just want to know, what are both of your guys' main goals for yourselves within the sport of boxing while you're here in America?
Θέλω τον μαμά μου να μην είναι ξεχαστό στο όρθιο και να αφήσω στο δρόμο.
He says he's here to make sure that his name is known everywhere, and he's here to become world champion and an undisputed world champion. So he's here to leave a legacy.
I like that. Undisputed is definitely big right now. Same question for Nico.
Εγώ θέλω να κάνω περήφανα τα άτομα που πίστεψαν σε μένα, όπως είσαι εσύ δάσκαλε, είμαι ο Χάνα, όλα τα άτομα που πίστεψαν για να έρθουμε εδώ για να κάνουμε το όνειρό μας πραγματικότητα. Και γενικότερα όλη η Ελλάδα που πιστεύει σε εμάς και θα μας στηρίξει. Και γενικότερα τώρα όσοι υπόλοιποι μας δουν.
First and foremost, he says he wants to make proud everyone that he believed in him. Me, my wife, they both call her Mama Hannah because she's like a mother to them. For Champs Promotions, because he gave them the opportunity to be in this situation. Everybody in Greece, he wants to be the first middleweight world champion and undisputed world champion. And both of them, they want to leave a legacy for the younger generation, for the new kids, for the ones that they have been told in Greece that they cannot do it. And not only in Greece, everywhere, that they cannot do it. And all they have to do is just believe in themselves, work hard, and capitalize on the opportunities that they get to get in there and do it.
Yeah, that's very important to leave that type of legacy, especially for all the kids back home. So I believe you said that you guys are working out of the Robert Garcia gym there in LA?
Yes, in Riverside. We live in Claremont, so we go to Riverside. This is basically what we do in all our training camp. Now, there are times that we go to Buddy McGirt's gym. It's a little further in the valley. We can go to the Maywood gym. There is a lot of gyms here that we can pick and choose, but we feel happy and comfortable at Robert Garcia's gym. And and Robert is such a wonderful person, and everybody in the gym, and we just feel at home.
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of big names in that gym, very big names. And out of the Buddy McGirt gym, there are huge names in the sport as well. I kind of want to know from both of you, what are your experiences so far with Robert Garcia? Have you been able to work with him yet? And if so, what are some of your experiences that you've had so far in the gym?
Λέει τι εμπειρίες έχετε μέχρι τώρα από το γυμναστήριο του Ρόμπερτ που πηγαίνει.
Τι εμπειρίες έχουμε, εννοείται θετικές, πολύ όμορφες και θα συνεχίσουμε να δουλεύουμε σκληρά. Θα είμαστε συνέχεια
Είναι
εκεί.
ένα πολύ φιλόξενο γυμναστήριο, αγκαλιάζει τους αθλητές, έχει μέσα αθλητές υψηλού επίπεδου και αυτό είναι, μπορεί εμείς να μην έχουμε τους αγώνες και το ένα και το άλλο, αλλά αυτό είναι το στοιχείο μας, το επίπεδό μας, να παίζεις με καλούς, να μάχεις με καλούς.
It's a very, very friendly gym, very welcoming environment. Robert is not training the guys, I am training the guys, but Robert is extremely supportive. He always motivates both of these young men because he sees their talent. He makes sure that we do have tough sparring. And there is no other way because I don't personally like it any other way. I take my other fighters at Robert Garcia's, and regardless if a fighter has a big name or not, as long as you believe in yourself and you go there and you listen to your corner and you let your work show, then you will be appreciated. And Robert really, really appreciates the fact that we are there. And he's absolutely fantastic that he opened up his door to accept us in there.
Yeah.
But in the other hand, if he weren't offering something good, you would see that you wouldn't fit in there because of the level of the fighters, the caliber of the fighters that there are.
Mm-hmm.
So you go there, you better work. You go there to waste your time and take pictures, don't go.
Absolutely, yeah. It can be a tough training camp, or it can be a tough camp there at times. But they're a tight-knit group. They're very tight-knit and they're very close. So it's like a family-oriented gym.
The both cultures, they have a lot of similarities. And in the Spanish language, there are 17,000 Greek words. So there is a big similarity, culture-wise.
And that's got to be very important for both of these guys.
Indeed.
So my last question for you guys together really is seeing into the future. What would it mean for both of you or either of you if to have success here in America and possibly even win a world title?
Τι θα σήμαινε για σας να είχατε μια επιτυχία εδώ στις Ηνωμένες Πολιτείες και να κερδίσετε ένα παγκόσμιο τίτλο?
Είναι όνειρο ζωής. Γι' αυτό είμαστε εδώ, γι' αυτό έχουμε στερηθεί τα πάντα.
Εσύ, Γιάννη?
Το θέλω. Θέλω να γίνω παγκόσμιος αθλητής και αυτό είναι το όνειρό μου, γι' αυτό έχω έρθει. Έχω έρθει για να δώσω τη ψυχή μου ώστε να φτάσω στο κορυφή.
They both say that this is it's a lifetime dream. That's the reason that they're here. They put out there with capital letters that they both want that, and they're ready to do whatever it takes, inside and outside the ring, to make it to make this dream come true. I'm not an easy guy to work with. I am so sorry to say it bluntly like that. But in this business, lies have no place. And if I see a person that he says he wants it, or he's ready to do it, but he's proving me otherwise, I am not wasting my time.
Uh-oh, you the boss.
The boys are not coming here to live a Hollywood lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
They're not coming here to see a Hollywood scene. We live outside of Hollywood. We live close to 50 miles away from Hollywood.
Okay. And so now my questions are a little bit geared towards separate here. I have a few questions for Nico starting out. But Nico's a little older here at 26. Does he feel kind of more anxious, or like he wants to establish himself quicker at that age right now?
Bigger statement right off the bat.
Yeah, does he feel like, yeah.
26 χρονών νιώθεις πίεση ηλικιακά, νιώθεις ότι θες να μπεις μέσα γρήγορα για να βάλεις τη σφραγίδα σου και να δείξεις ποιος είσαι, ή θες δεν σε ενοχλεί η ηλικία σου και θες να πας σιγά σιγά?
Όχι, ακριβώς γι' αυτό θα μπω μέσα και θα ακουστώ πολύ γρήγορα, γιατί θα μπω μέσα πεινασμένος και θα δείξω ακριβώς ποιος είναι. Δηλαδή δεν θα με νοιάξει με ποιον να παίξω, τι ρεκόρ έχει, τι είναι, δεν με απασχολεί. Απλά θέλω να μπω μέσα και να δείξω αυτό που θέλω και αυτό που μπορώ.
Basically, he's saying that he feels extremely confident about himself. He doesn't really care who he fights. He knows what he's capable of. And he's here to make a statement. So the way he will be moved as 26 years old, he doesn't feel that he is old. He feels that he's very mature. He's gonna leave it to his management team and to his promoter. And whoever they put in front of him, he's gonna bring no objections whatsoever.
All right, that sounds really good. So back at Nico then, with the nickname there, the comparison to Canelo, does he like Canelo Alvarez, or is that just something that the people name dubbed him as?
He says, first of all, if you see him in person, and if you see him with his boxing trunks, his body looks like Canelo. Okay. His measurements are like Canelo's. He really likes Canelo. He loves watching Canelo. He loves his mental, how should I say it? His mental status. He loves his boxing style. He thinks that his boxing style is extremely similar to Canelo's, and he has no fear. So he didn't choose that. Mando Huerta, when he saw him at Maywood, and that was the first week, actually that was the fourth day that he was here. And then the fifth day when he sparred the Molina brothers and other guys, I'm not gonna mention names, in the gym, and they saw the pressure that he brings. The same when he was fighting at Henry Ramirez gym in Riverside, or McGirt's gym, or any gym that we went. They absolutely loved his style. So Mando Huerta said to me, he says to me, Peter, he fights like Canelo. and he looks like Canelo too. So I don't know if he looks like Canelo.
Part of it may be the style. I see he's got some style too.
But you know, Canelo it comes from the red hair, the canela, and canela is the cinnamon, and canela in Greek and in Spanish is the same word.
Same word, okay. And not to leave Giannis out, so I do have a few questions there for Giannis.
Sure.
First one is that from what I hear, you're kind of wanting to embrace American culture. You want to learn English and all of that. What do you like most so far about American culture and what you've seen?
I can tell you that without even asking him. Λέει, βλέπει ότι σου αρέσει η αμερικάνικη κουλτούρα, η αμερικάνικος τρόπος ζωής. Τι είναι αυτό που σου αρέσει περισσότερο?
Στην Αμερική.
Ναι, το KFC.
Πες το, μου αρέσουν πολύ τα γυμναστήρια και η νοοτροπία του αθλητισμού.
Εκτός από αυτό.
Εκτός στη ζωή.
Says apart from the boxing, that he loves the gyms out here. He loves the mentality that they have in the boxing gyms. He loves KFC. I'm gonna tell you now. He doesn't want to say it. He loves Yogurtland. Both of them love Yogurtland. But you know what? Hey, they can both afford to have it. He fights in 2 weeks at 135. He's 140 pounds now.
Right.
Yeah.
So he's already on weight. I have no stress. I have no issues.
He's on weight with that KFC, you saying?
After,
you still got that in.
He says after the fight, yes, he wants to have it. And now Mama Hannah is making it for him in the air fryer with no oil.
There you go.
Everybody likes KFC. Don't let him give you too much crap for that.
But you know what? Hey, a Yogurtland on a Sunday, on a little cheat day, sure, no problem. Because I know both of these guys. They're gonna go to the gym on Monday, and for 2.5 hours it's gonna be non-stop. And then nighttime is gonna come, and they're gonna hit the gym, the fitness gym, the nighttime, and for another 2 hours it's gonna be non-stop, swimming and running and exercises and rowing and you name it. So, hey, fair play to them.
Awesome, guys. That's all I had, Lucas. I'm gonna turn it back over to you now.
Guys, I think you're in good hands here with Lamont. I definitely don't think that this is going to be the last time we speak to you. I'd love to have you guys on again. It's been a great interaction, great show.
We thank you very, very much. We do. And we truly appreciate you for the opportunity.
Oh, no problem at all. Thank you for coming on and gracing us with your presence. I wish you both good luck April 2nd.
Thank you. Thank you. God bless.
Well, all three of you, I'm sorry.
Thank you. You'll see us there.
Lamont, now's the time. Go ahead and give us a plug. Dates, times, everything. Places. Where to get the tickets.
April 2nd, Hammond Civic Center. Doors open at 5. First fight starts at 6. We're excited. We're going to debut them. I don't think a lot of people, and Peter didn't tell you, we originally signed them pre-COVID. We wanted to bring them over before, so we
it's
literally
delayed pro debut.
Dear Lord, it's been a long time. Like, they took the leap and they believed in us via the relationship with Peter and Lehman Brewster. And so they took the chance on us, and we liked their story. We liked everything about them. You know, I'm active duty military. They're in the military. I think we all have a sense of service and a little bit of duty. And so that was something that I connected to. And so April the 2nd in Hammond, Indiana, you're going to get a chance to see Giannis. And then as soon as we get the fight details locked in on this fight right here and we get a little bit closer, put April the 2nd to bed or close to putting it in the books, Nico will be getting the next date. So we're on the lookout. We're trying to get everybody moving as soon as possible. We're going to be busy the rest of this year. Next time I talk to you guys, hopefully we'll have I'm dishing something out there that I'm not for sure about, but there's a TV station getting ready to come back into boxing a little bit. And I hope that we can get on that gravy train with Impact and do a little bit with them.
Yeah.
And then I will be have some pretty exciting conversations with Gordon Hall from Showtime about getting fighters on Showbox and getting our guys outside of the region a little bit more. I think we've got TV ready fighters. These two guys never asked for a tune-up. I'm gonna tell you that's un-American right there, because it seems like everybody wants a tune-up.
Everybody know, right?
They ain't asked for no tune-ups. They haven't asked for anything. You're right, Sakura. They're great-looking guys. Social media is blowing up. I mean, they post a picture with their shirt off. The women go wild. I know they're gonna love them here once they meet them. So I'm looking forward to it. They can go get tickets on Eventbrite under Midwest Boxing Showcase, Four Champs Promotions. Get there early. It's going to be another great show at the Civic Center. And then we're looking forward to announcing some future dates so we can get Nico rolling as well.
All right. And if you did not catch any of that, you can always catch it on our social media. I'll be sure to share all that. Everything is at Heavy Bag Boxing. But again, definitely follow at Four Champs Promotions. I want to thank you all for coming on the show, and good luck April 2nd. And
we thank you as well.
And we'll talk to you guys soon.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah. And I hope you guys come down to sunny Southern California soon.
I hope so. We got some correspondents up there. We got some guys up there, 2 or 3 of them. So maybe we can get together, with some of them, and get some footage of you guys working out and sparring and stuff like
Absolutely.
that. We would love that.
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
Thanks, guys.
You have a great night.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate you, Lucas. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you, team.
See you guys.
Thank you, Lemon.
All right.
Oh, that's some interesting guys. I mean, I really enjoyed them. And I can't wait to see Nicole with this shirt off and looking like Canelo. I might have to go look up that social media account right after the show, Lucas.
I mean, I don't blame you. 2 young guys from Greece.
Yeah.
That was great, y'all. I liked it. Let's go ahead and get into the the stuff, though. No, I'm ready.
We will. I just wanted to say,
listen.
They kind of had the it factor too. You could kind of feel it.
Yeah,
That's all I wanted to say.
And I had to say that it's ironic that one, he's from Kazakhstan, so that's the Triple G angle, and then the other one's known as the Greek Canelo. Like, hey, there we go. We got the trilogy right there in the new generation.
I don't know what I'm gonna do, because I already know. Like, of course, I want to go. I gotta go. To see the fight. But my kids may disown me if I go.
Why? What they got going on?
It's WrestleMania.
Oh, but you treated them last weekend. Which was
did,
so
but that don't mean that they ain't gonna hate me.
You got a mulligan. Just order it for them and tell them they can stay up late. And Daddy's gotta go.
Not as funny
they won't care.
as it is with Daddy, though. You know how that goes.
Yeah. Maybe I can talk them into going to the fight.
Now, I'll be in LA or in California in July. So, I don't know.
You definitely got to meet up with Rudy and Tim and James, of course. I mean, that's what I was saying to them, is like, we got correspondents out there. We need to get, people out there, get some sparring footage and all kinds of stuff. So it'd be nice.
Yeah, it would be so nice. And then it would also be nice when we're able to come and help commentate with you on some of my shows too.
That would be great too. Whenever you guys can. I know it gets rough, but let's see, April 2nd. What's the next one? I think there's another local one, April 23rd. for Finley and DM Promotions up here. But yeah, I'll let you guys know. We definitely need to get that set up.
Well, I'm gonna be on a fight in Biloxi, Mississippi, come April 9th, and I had no idea. But Rob, this might be up your alley. It's also Black Beach weekend there. So I'm giving you a personal invite and notification that you need to be there April 9th.
I'll be coming back from Orlando right then.
Wow, you're gonna be busy. This is a lot of traveling for you.
Yeah, it's the same trip I made last year when I saw Hobby in Orlando.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah. But let's talk about this weekend so I can trash somebody, because you know that's what the fans want to hear.
Take it away, sir.
Okay.
So, well, let's ease into that, Lucas. We can start with Xander Zayas. We can start there.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and start with Xander Zayas, y'all. That kid continues to impress me. He continues to impress a lot of people. He's so young. I believe he's 19, right, Shakur? Is he 19 or 20?
20. I think he turned.
He's 20 now? Okay. I think it was 19 when I first saw him. So he's 20 now. But the kid, you know, even with him being so young and having a little bit of flaws, you still really barely see him because of the aggression and the power. You know, I know he didn't knock his opponent out last Saturday, but those were some aggressive shots. And the dude he fought was game with a chin. He came in with a chin. He never been knocked down his whole career, and it showed. But man, I thought several times during that fight they were going to stop it, because Zayas just came with some aggression and he was landing some flush shots straight to the head.
You're surprising me, Rob, because honestly, I was expecting why didn't Zayas get him out of there? That's what I was expecting.
Well, I understand that, and part of me was reaching for that, but I thought he was gonna knock him out or get a stoppage, and I felt like he could have. The other guy, his opponent, was just really, really there for it. He was there to go the distance. He knew it wasn't a 10-round fight or a 12-round fight. If it was, then I definitely think he would have got him out of there, or at least a stoppage by the end. But the guy he fought was geared towards, you know, the aggression. He knew what was coming, everything. And he got hit with a lot of hard shots. Again, Zayas is only 20 years old. You got to go to the body more to set up the knockout. And that's all he needed to learn after this fight, really. But even with that being said, you still got to be impressed.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Zayas, oh my God, I call him X. Dang, I mean, it's like the footwork, the stance. He knows distancing. He knows how to, you know, switch up the punches, you know, not just go for the head, but include body. So, I mean, he's just a really great packaged boxer right now. And he is looking like, if he can keep everything going and the momentum he has, and the fact that he keeps getting better and better with each fight, then, you know, he is going to be what they suspect he is, which is the next great Puerto Rican boxer. So I'm really excited about Zayas, and I'm looking forward to his future in the sport, because he's so young and he's still learning on the job. And the fact that, I mean, here in the Florida area, we were able to see him a few years before that on Telemundo, and you know, locally you could go to his fights in Kissimmee when they had fights over there. So it's just amazing to see him progress in this way, and it's also great to see someone that's boxing, that's young, that has their head seemingly on very straight. Like, you know, he's like emotionally stable. He's on the right track. And then they had the nerve, like, literally to tell us, Top Rank's commentating team, that Zayas was like, well, no, I'm not trying to be the first this or that. Like, I love the fact that he was talking about what he wanted his legacy to be and where he wanted to place the emphasis in his career at. You know, on the back end of his career, he wants big mega fights, and he wants, you know, to be known for something more than just, I got a big payday and I was the first to do this or that. So, I mean, it just tells you the level of throwback fighter that he really is.
For sure. James commented, and James, we're missing you, buddy. James Campos says Zaya's looking better, improving with every fight. Definitely agree with you there. But with that being said, also, I think we want to see him come up slowly. You know, we don't want to see it get out of hand. I want to see him brought up like Canelo. You know, steady but surely up the ladder. But with that being said, guys, do you think he's ready for the next level up?
I like the fact that he went the full rounds. I like the fact that he went to the decision and never wavered. He stayed the same. He stayed the course. He kept the game plan going. And, you know, a big tell to me in that fight was the situation with the trainer outside of the ring. His head trainer, his main guy, the guy who led him to where he's at in his career, had back issues and had to get taken to the hospital and actually enter the ring in a wheelchair. And even with all that going on behind the scenes, the kid was able to do what he did and follow instructions to a T in the game plan to a T. Like I said, there were some flaws there that they called out and he picked up on, though, during the fight. He's an extremely sharp fighter, and people get mad at the comparisons all day long, they do. But look, I'm saying it right here, right now. I see a Miguel Cotto-esque fighter in Xander Zayas. Maybe even better.
Are you saying the level of competition, or are you saying also like the style, the technique, everything?
The style that he has, the skill set, the talent, the way he picks up on cues, the way he picks up on different cues out there, the machismo aspect of it, even the machismo aspect of it, the confidence, the intensity, all that reeks Miguel Cotto in his prime. All that reeks Miguel in his prime. The thing that I think that he might be able to do to see him get to a bigger level is not get beat.
And James coming in again. Zayas is ready, but needs to keep facing stiff competition, not stiffs.
Well, I agree, James, but the guy he fought was stiff. Like, not a stiff. He was stiff competition. He was in there. Go ahead, Shakur. I'm sorry.
No. I mean, I was going to just, concur with you. I'm just saying that the guy that, he faced, the opponent, I'm sorry, I don't remember his name, but yeah, he was definitely a tough cookie, and he could take a good punch. The thing of it is like I've always said, that I do believe that top ranks matchmakers do a really great job of moving boxers slowly but surely, step by step, with the competition. So I have no doubt that they're going to make sure they're going to take care of him, and they're not going to rush him through to, some, what do you want to call it, championship fight too soon or anything like that, especially since the boxer himself and his team have basically stated, this is not what we're in it for. We have a long-term goal, and this is what, we want to do. It's not just who gets to a championship fight first. It's more like, a steady, gradual progression is what they're looking for. And like I said, I do believe that Cotto-esque, Tito-esque, even Jose Pedraza-esque, like all of the Puerto Rican boxers always have that extra skill level and very great at executing certain types of moves in the ring. And he shows that. So I feel like, being that he's only 19 and he's already got a lot of stuff as a baseline down pat, I mean, the next step, it's like the sky's the limit.
For sure.
Let me give you a narrative, a visual narrative. Look at the end of the fight. How many times have we seen fighters jump up in the ring like that, pump up the crowd, but actually give us a showing that deserves that?
Yeah, for sure.
All right, guys.
Oh,
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I
No,
did
go
have to mention that also on the undercard was Kevin Davis, the brother of Keyshawn Davis, and he had a spectacular knockout. I mean, it was a great kind of like 1-2, but it was just like so much power and explosion in him, and it was he showed a lot of athleticism and skill. So those are two brothers that we definitely need to be like, on alert about, because they're there to take care of some business, and they're going to be problems for some people very, very soon in their divisions.
I saw that on today, Shakira, on ESPN. Actually, it was a nice one too. And you know what? I don't know why boxers don't use that anymore. I truly don't. I feel like if Wilder would be able to use that to his advantage, he'd have knocked out Fury. But hey, I'm just saying.
Yeah, for sure. More boxers should be into it. I mean, Duran, that was one of his best combinations. Is that like, it's like a slower one, and then the two is just boom, like explosive. So I just don't even know why people don't use these like main basic punches that are so effective. Like they've stopped using them. One that I really like is Mike Tyson, when he goes to the body with a hook and then comes back with an uppercut. Like that's just like wow, and I barely see people doing that.
Well, to do something like that too, you also have to be severely talented. Not anybody can just pull that shit off out of their ass. You know what I'm saying?
But they better start practicing now. It's like, look, they down at the lower level with the prospecting and the amateurs. They need to start practicing that right away, because it is so effective when he did it.
Yeah, I mean that's the same hand too. You got to be quick.
The same
you gotta have the speed. Or you getting knocked the hell out. But guys, I hate to admit it, but you already know I had kind of a long weekend. What happened with the Berlanga main event? What was that like?
Shakira, you go first, because I'm about to go in.
I mean,
You
for
go
me,
first.
it was.
I'm about to go
in. Okay, I'm gonna
He
let
used to
you
tout
go
him.
in.
He used to highly tout that man.
Oh my
Go
God.
ahead, Shakira. Go ahead.
Well, he was definitely Javi. Javi was on Elvis Rodriguez, and he was on Berlanga as well. I mean, Berlanga had all the flash and everything else early on, but the stiffer this competition gets for him, the more he's running into problems, like cutting off the ring, for instance. It's always, for me, it's something. Well, it was a quite boring fight for me, to be honest with you. But the thing that stood out for me is, in every fight that he's had some challenges, it's been from something that simple that he should that he should have knowledge of already. So that's what's particularly concerning for me. And I mean, and at this point, if your team is not getting those types of fundamentals in for you, you need to think about, diversifying your training camp, your training team. I mean, how can you not know how to cut off the ring? And how can you not know about a stiff jab, or a stiff jab that, right following after it comes a counter punch that you're not prepared for? And I have to give a shout out to Tim Bradley, because, even though he works for ESPN and their main promotional team that they work with is Top Rank, he really he told his true feelings about Berlanga, the disappointments. And then they actually allowed him to do like a representation of what happens when Berlanga has his high guard up. Like, just giving a simple, like they were giving the blueprint to the next boxer on what they can do, to further, yes, improve their odds against Berlanga. I was shocked that they allowed it, but at the same time, I was like, oh my God, yes, this is how commentating teams should be. Mm-hmm. You know, it's good cop, bad cop, and all of that. So it was just, I know that Rob is burning up to say all the bad stuff. So I'm going to wrap it up by saying, you know, it's a disappointment for me, because I was hoping that he was going to be this huge Puerto Rican star that had a full package of arsenal that he could use on opponents. And right now it's looking like he had one thing in his arsenal that worked for boxers that were not on this, you know, even the second tier level. Because as soon as that level of competition went up, we started seeing these flaws.
Yeah, before you just go all in, Rob, it sounds like, and from the previous fights I've watched from Berlanga as he's moved up in competition, like you were saying, I think the early knockouts actually hurt him more than helped him. You know, he didn't get as many rounds in, which hurts your experience, and you're not allowed to do that. I mean, if you're the training team, if you keep getting the first round knockouts, yes, that's good, and yes, it draws in the money and the main event spot that he probably wouldn't have gotten without it. Right. But at the same time, you know, you got to tell your guy, just get in some rounds, you know, let him hang around for a little bit, try some new stuff in the ring, in an actual fight, not in sparring scenarios, but I digress. Go ahead, Rob.
So, when and Lucas, you said it, you called it right. I was heavily invested in this fighter early on in his career when the 16 first round knockouts came to play, because I thought he was for real. So if I'm heavily invested in a fighter, then I know the backstories and I know the stuff going on. So with that being said, guys, Berlanga at a young age coming up was a dynamic boxer. Believe it or not, he was a boxer. He was more of a puncher boxer. So Lucas, you are absolutely correct. The stream of first round KOs got him this fame, notoriety, and fortune, and it's playing a toll in what we're seeing from him lately coming up in competition. So Shakur and people see it as he steps up in competition, he's more vulnerable.
Right.
That's not the issue. The issue I see is that he is trying to go for a one-punch knockout every time. He's trying to go for a knockout every single time he's out there. And because of that, he's lost his boxing ability, period. That's what I think the problem with Berlanga is right now, is that simple facts, he's lost his boxing ability now. He has a great trainer that teaches you the fundamentals, not just how to win, not just how to be a talent in this sport. He teaches you the fundamentals of the game. And Buddy McGirt, so much in the corner, was pleading with this fighter, begging him to do just that, the fundamentals. Right. So let's go to the flaws, because I wrote them down. So in Shakur's first example, the high guard. Yes, Tim Bradley did set the foundation, but he actually abandoned that. He stopped with the high guard because of the issues that it gave him in his last fight. The issues he had with the high guard was the fact that the opponent was able to see the next punch coming. And because they were able to see the next punch coming, they were able to time it and land a punch of their own.
Right.
So he abandoned that this fight. So what we got into in this fight, he didn't throw the jab. When we've seen Berlanga coming out before, he has a good snapping jab. Yeah, so what if it doesn't land? You have to be able to set up your other punches with the jab. He got so many knockouts on throwing the jab off of a combination going up to the 16 KOs. Right. He completely abandoned the jab this fight. The other problem, in the main, because he abandoned the jab, he was really looking to land one punch to knock the guy out. Steve Rolls has been in there with the best. He's been in there with the best. You're not going to knock him out with one punch. So where was the study that McGirt did for you? Where was all the game? Where was even the game plan at in this fight that McGirt gave to you? Because all he did was try to land one punch to knock Rolls out. Now, that being said, the major disappointment that I had in this fight is that Berlanga couldn't see the damn jab coming at him. Steve Rolls was able to make it a close fight by landing a consistent jab. That was it. It wasn't he offsetting him by going to the body. It wasn't just the movement, because the movement was mediocre. Okay? The movement was mediocre. Berlanga just couldn't cut off the ring because he was looking for one damn punch every time. So it was just the jab. That's all Steve Rolls had in the fight. And he fought him off, and he fought him to a close fight because Berlanga couldn't see it coming.
I mean, I agree with your assessment. I do also agree. Well, I feel that cutting off the ring, I mean, he followed Rolls around all night. Like, there was not even an attempt to try to keep him, posted up somewhere or close to the ropes or in the corner. You see a fighter moving to the left or the right, and then you don't, you're just like following them mindlessly around, swinging. I mean, that makes for a boring fight because we're really not seeing that much action. And then on top of it, I'm like, these flaws that we're seeing. Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe it is because he's just trying to look for the one punch. But the other scenario is that he just ain't got these fundamentals he's supposed to have, especially with this amateur career that he supposedly went through. So I can't see how he's an amateur and didn't get that.
He lost it. That's my whole issue with him. He lost it. And let me tell you something. As good as ESPN is for a fighter's career, in this particular fighter's instance, they are equally as bad because they hyping him up to be a phenom, and right now he can't live up to the hype.
James kind of said kind of what you were saying there. Berlanga's left hand needs to improve. That opens up his moneymaker right hand. Understood.
Damn all that. What did I just say to y'all? I just made a huge statement that everybody out there needs to listen. If y'all are listening, you heard it right here, right now.
ESPN wasn't the only one hyping.
No, this kid cannot live up to this hype.
That was going to be my next question, Rob, is do you think it's possible for him to still be that guy that was in your head when he was getting those knockouts?
Yeah. If Buddy McGirt is able to take this kid and dissect him wide open and take everything apart and rebuild him back together again, that's the only way he's able to do that. I didn't see Buddy McGirt
in his corner. I saw the other guy the trainer that does he also trains
that's another issue.
Danny Jacobs. He also trains Danny Jacobs, that guy. That was the trainer I saw with him. And
that's another issue, Shakura. There's like 3 different people talking to him in the corner, and my man Mark Kriegel made the point, I want to see one guy in the corner talking to you, and that's it.
I he can't, and that's the problem. Like when you got so many people who have their hands in your career, who do you tell no to? Like you're gonna tell his dad not to tell him something when it was his dream and his fortitude that got him there, or are you gonna tell your trainer from New York, hey, back off? It's like, wait a minute, that's what you're paying me for. So I just, like I said, that's why I feel like he should just have a whole new training scheme, start over.
He doesn't need that.
Another problem,
he's got a great coach.
Listen, yes, some coaches are better suited for when you have all the tools ready to go.
Shakura,
and you're there. Some trainers are better at teaching you fundamentals that you have forgotten or that you didn't have. So what my point is this.
And I apologize. Let me apologize first and foremost, because I keep saying Buddy McGirt. I'm sorry. It's Andre Rozier.
There you go. That's the name.
I'm sorry. Let me do that. It's Andre Rozier. I'm sorry. Not Buddy McGirt. Andre Rozier.
But I feel you're right, because it should be a trainer like Buddy McGirt having him right now, because he's gonna put him in his place, and he's gonna be like, in this gym, you ain't nobody. Like, this is part of the problem, is them hyping him up, and now it's so bad, like it's probably to the point where it's hard for him to listen to the people that are around him right now. So I mean, for me, he can be hyped, he can be this or that, but the problem I saw is that they had a ready-made excuse for his last outing and him getting dropped. And this is what concerned me. When they had an interview for him, where they said it was a bicep injury. But my point is, when you're doing an interview with a boxer and they got ready-made excuses, it's everybody else and everything else's fault. And you're not taking any type of recognition of things that you could improve on, you got a problem. And they sat there and heard that in the fighter meetings, and they heard that's what he had been told, that was the reason why such and such happened. And there you go, boom, there's no improvement. Then you're in his mind, he's mentally blocked off an improvement, because he got ready-made excuses why the whole incident occurred in the first place. You see what I'm saying? Like, you already know there's an issue there when you're not taking ownership for what happened to you in your previous fight.
Shakura, let me tell you what.
I'm sorry. One more thing. And then you're also then rewarded with a main event card. Yeah. So that's
at MSG. Right. MSG. That's what I want to get at. Let me tell you when I noticed what the problem is. Very first problem, number one, you're being co-signed by Fat Joe. Okay? You're being co-signed by Fat Joe. Damn near putting you in champ status. Always talking about the champ Edgar Berlanga. And everywhere he goes, as if he's the next Puerto Rican king of New York. And number two, you're headlining at Madison Square Garden. Okay? So, and all due respect to ESPN, they did a hell of a build-up to the relationship and situation with his father. Okay? There's a reason why Fat Joe's co-signing him, okay? Because his father was in the streets at a time where Fat Joe knew the streets. The problem with that is, admittedly, Edgar Berlanga lost his way in the sport back then. He lost his way in the sport back then. So when you look at things and how it's transpiring now, he was in it for the fame, fortune, and the money. You're giving it to him slowly, but you're slowly feeding it to him already, and he can't support the hype.
Well, I mean, he might not be as hungry as he should be in the gym, like those guys we met tonight, who are straight up hungry to give.
I'd rather back them.
Yeah,
I'd rather back them.
Right, so he's not as hungry already to bear. He needs to know, okay, I got to stay in this gym. So, but I mean, Fat Joe and everything that goes along with that. I mean, it's great marketing. You saw it worked. I mean, it was full. It was a packed Puerto Rican house.
It didn't work.
So it worked as far as the marketing for building up the for the fans and being in the building the way that they were. Like you had,
let me ask you a question.
whole card full of Puerto Rican boxers. I mean, it was made for the hype from jump. So, I mean, and plus New York hasn't had like that many fights since COVID. Like they just started opening up. So of course they was going to be more than ready to party. So this was like a perfect storm where they get to see boxing, they get to party, they get to actually go to a live event. And it was in the Madison Square Garden where they hadn't been in so long. And they got the rep Puerto Rican culture that's there. I mean, I don't have a problem with, my point is I don't have a problem with Fat Joe being involved like that because I know it's a marketing piece and it's a marketing tool. There's a benefit for him to do that. But I have a problem with him not being hungry anymore because they giving him too much, too fast. I mean, I've never seen a fighter get dropped in the net in one fight, and then they come back and they got a whole headliner.
Cool.
You know? And he looked bad in that fight. He did not look good in the last fight, and he still got a main event card.
He almost lost this fight.
I mean, honestly,
if you
when
go
I
to
saw
the scorecards,
Rolls,
he almost lost this fight.
When I saw Steve Rolls, I was like, that's a loss. I mean, judging on the last fight, but I'm going to watch that back here probably tonight, see what I think. But I agree with you, Sakura. I do think he needs new training. Maybe somebody that can hold him a little bit more accountable. I don't know. If anything's going to help.
That's all he needs. He needs someone to hold him accountable, period. He needs somebody to block out, kick out all that side business to the side, kick it all out the camp, and say, this is what you do from here on out.
Right, but if his current training camp current training is not doing that, then he needs to change. He needs to get out of it.
Right. It's not that the trainers are not good. When I'm saying that, I'm not saying anything bad about the training camp. But at a certain point, when your boxer is not listening to you, and you're not able to hold his attention to what he's supposed to be focusing on daily, and to me, it was obvious that this is the case. Then there's an issue. You need to get somebody else in there that you're gonna listen to, and he's gonna put you in your place. I
agree with y'all. Guess what? I don't think there's anybody else that's going to be able to get him to listen to them.
Okay, guys.
I disagree. There's some boxing trainers out there that he will.
They're going to try to disallow it, and he's still going to let it come in. Why? Because of what you just said. It's marketing. That's my excuse. It's marketing. They need to be here. It's promotion. They need to be here. This is what my legacy is. I'm the Puerto Rican king of New York.
I do see your point, Rob. I see where you're coming from, but
that's what he wants to be.
I mean, they're trying to model him more like a Camacho. You know, they want him to have that flair and that style, and there's nothing wrong with that to me. I mean, he enjoys it.
Camacho was a different legacy.
The work, though. You gotta do the work.
Right.
You want to be like Camacho, you gotta be doing that shit in the ring too. You know,
that was a different legacy.
Yeah.
Camacho, how dare you put Camacho and Berlanga in the same
system? I said that's what they're trying to model him after. I said that's what they're trying to model him after. With the flair, with the style, with the flashy outfit, like all of that. That's in the New York, Puerto Rican, culture. That's what they're modeling him after. That's what everybody was hyped up and so excited about him for at the beginning, because they're like, hey, this kid got all this charisma, he's talented, he got a lot of style, and he's knocking out people. So that's what the formula was supposed to be.
And he messed up the formula.
Well, let's move on, guys. Let's talk about Joshua-Usyk, which is apparently on again. Heavyweight boxing has a reason to rejoice.
Yeah, what happened was Usyk pulled the plug on. Well, let me not say that.
Yeah,
but Usyk has decided to, and he got granted permission
There you
let me
go.
let me
That's
get
the
that
key
out the way
person.
first.
He was
Yeah,
He
that's
got granted permission, and he's decided to go ahead and leave Ukraine to come back and be a part of the fight against Joshua. And I want to say that to say this. Lomachenko put out a statement today that said he's now withdrawing from the Kambosos fight so he can stay in Ukraine. That's admirable. I also think Usyk making this tough decision after he already committed so much. And let's get it straight. When you're committing yourself to war, you're committing your life to it. So I think it's admirable that he did that, and then thus is now deciding to go ahead and in the midst of all of that, fight Joshua. Why? Because this could also be a big inspiration to his people.
It could. It's got to be tough to leave your country at war. It's like your house is on fire and you got water, but you're gonna go put it, somewhere else because that's kind of what it's like. He's leaving his home, which is under attack, to go box, which is greater in the sense of you're gonna reach, more people. You can make a huge impact, and either guy should be admired. I mean, he already stayed and fought. He didn't have to do that in the first place. He could have ran here. He could have ran anywhere in the world. He's got millions. So does Lomachenko and the Klitschko's. So my hat's off to all of them. But as a boxing fan, if I'm putting that first, I'm very happy that he's coming back and going to fight Joshua. I am not really a big fan of Joshua's and Usyk. I have seen live, and he's made me a fan. Just one is quirkiness. That dude is one quirky man. But he also takes everything seriously when he gets in the ring. Yeah. Now, is this second fight going to be any different? I don't know. There's a lot more playing into it. But basically, Joshua's sitting at home, got it easy, where Usyk's been at war. He's not even going to get his own gym. He's going to be fighting and training out of Poland, from what I understand.
Yeah.
Usyk,
go ahead.
Yeah, Usyk.
Usyk is going to be extremely motivated for this fight. This is going to be a tough one because I think both of them should be extremely motivated. Joshua needs to get his name back and his belts, and Usyk is going through extreme turmoil. Go ahead, Shakura.
Yeah, I was just going to say that, it's no mistake that, their country executives have decided, basically that they would allow them to have this time for fights, both Lomachenko and Usyk. I mean, of course, Vlad Klitschko is the, mayor of Kyiv. So, that's a tradition right there. They know how much these paydays mean to these young guys. I think a main factor and why there was two decisions made between the two boxers is, Lomachenko is a lot more further along in his career as far as paydays are concerned. He's received some good paydays. Whereas Usyk, even though he was a champion and a unified champion at cruiserweight, there wasn't that much money there, and he only got to do the fight with Chisora and then the fight with AJ. So he has not yet secured the type of money that Lomachenko has in his career, and that's a big deal when you're putting your life on the line. You would want to make sure that your family has something to fall back on if something does happen to you on the front line. So I think that's why there's the difference in the two, camps. Now, the fight that I did want to see is the Kambosos versus Lomachenko fight.
Mm-hmm.
That is like a hurtful one for me. But people that are being like, I don't want to see Devin Haney and Kambosos they're full of BS too, because, Haney is a worthy opponent and he has the WBC regular belt. So this is going to finish up this whole business of Devin Haney having this belt, but yet another boxer is a unified champion. So we'll get to completely finish that whole, debacle there.
Well, Sakura was like me with Pacquiao Spence. When Spence fell out, then you got Ugas, and you're like, come on, man. Like, normally that'd be a good fight, but now, no, I'm spoiled. I want the Spence fight, so.
Yeah, of course we all wanted the Spence fight, yes. And it could have been a totally different outcome for Pacquiao with the Spence fight. But instead he got that Cuban pedigree and he wasn't prepared for that. So now we got a retired Pacquiao. So see how you're not guaranteed to get these boxing matches again once you miss that first opportunity. So it's no guarantee that there would ever be a Lomachenko versus Kambosos if Devin Haney comes in and messes up the apple cart. He could be the one that comes away with all the belts, and then it's no longer any type of real reason why Lomachenko would go after a Kambosos. He would then be chasing the belts to be unified again to be unified, with Devin Haney. So, I mean, when these fights pass, it's no guarantee that they'll come back around. That was a, great example with Spence versus Pacquiao. My thing is if the country feels like that this is a good thing for them to do when they want to still have their Ukrainian boxers shine in the bright lights, I don't feel like people should be necessarily bad, feeling like, dang, Usyk left. How could he just leave? This is his country on the line. I don't think that anybody should have that point of view when the country themselves are saying, hey, this is a priority. We still want our champions to be able to continue to compete on, a world-class level. So we should all be around and stand behind both of their decisions and just know that, money has to be made, even with war, like you're trying to still secure your family's future. So these are tough decisions. And
that's a good point. Money may be a part into it, because
it is.
I can definitely see Usyk donating some of them proceeds. But go ahead, bro.
It is, because let me tell y'all, this Tyson Fury Dylan White event they got planned in London.
Yeah,
they promoting this shit like it's the Super Bowl. Okay, they really are. It's at Wembley Stadium, packed full of entertainment.
Yes.
Packed full of entertainment and all this. They're trying to put this thing off like it's the Super Bowl, Lucas.
Hey,
ESPN is ready to cover it.
I'm ready for all that. And imagine after Usyk deals with Joshua, Usyk Fury, and how big that could be.
Or
That's
Joshua
very
Fury.
True.
Or Joshua Fury.
I mean, Joshua Fury is big no matter what. Joshua versus anybody is big no matter what, just because Joshua has that fan base. But let's face it, I don't think Joshua is as serious about boxing as Usyk. Or as Fury.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and say, no, he's not. But, I mean, the other thing is that you guys brought up that's interesting is, remember when Dillian White was upset about the negotiations and how much money he was going to get paid for this Fury fight. And we in America, we just wasn't understanding, like, yeah, so what? It's just Dillian White. He don't really have a chance and blah, blah, blah. But now that you see all the hype and the fact that Dillian White knew that this would be considered a Super Bowl type fight at a Wembley and that it was going to sell out like so fast. But now they're asking for more seating. And now he's sitting there like,
Fury?
This is exactly what I was saying. No, it's Fury against another,
UK fighter.
Yeah, another UK fighter that's really well known and popular. Remember that Dillian White was known for his fight against AJ. So for their fans, that's like a litmus test. Like how is Fury gonna do against how is Fury gonna do against Dillian White? We already know how he's done against AJ. He caused them a lot of problems. So this is like that fight that's going to give them some insight on what that potential fight would look like. And plus it's just UK versus UK. And, Dillian White is known to have a great power. So it's big over there. So maybe Dillian White was a little bit right in being a little upset about how he finally got this championship fight and he's still not getting paid the dollars that he thought he would get after going through so much to get this opportunity. So I just wanted to say that because Rob was bringing up the fact that it is going to be like a Super Bowl type event now.
Measuring someone's worth on paper that's got to be extremely hard to do anyway. Yes, he earned it, but is it a fight that I think boxing fans were clamoring for? No, not really. And after he had earned it for a substantial period of time, he lost. He got knocked out. Yeah. So at what point
does this
really warrant that big?
It's heavyweights. Anybody can get. Yes,
I get it, but the value goes down, and you also go back to the bottom. Say what?
It's for the heavyweight championship of the world, Lucas.
That's what I'm saying, though. Did he deserve it after losing again? Is what
anything can happen with the heavyweight.
He earned it, and he was pushed off and told to shut up and pushed aside. But once you lose, you go back down, unless you lost to the champ, in which case you could get a rematch, But I don't know.
Well, we'll see. I mean, I think we're finding out that fight is a lot more desirable than people, especially U.S. fans, thought.
Do you think it's going to be more competitive than U.S. fans think?
Yes, I do.
It depends on Tyson Fury. It depends on Tyson Fury. Really, if he wants to show the world that he's the greatest heavyweight out there, he could probably knock him out in 2. If he wants to play around and do the showmanship and all that crap, then we're probably in for a long night.
Well, we'll see. I feel like it's going to be more competitive just in general than what we think here in the States. So, I always think that Dillian White is that wild card factor where he's another one where you just don't know which one you're going to get. Just like Fury is, is he going to be a slick, counter puncher with the irky jerk moves, or is he going to be in there by being aggressive or not? You don't know which one he feels would be more effective for a Dillian White.
That's true.
Yeah. I'm going to do Shakura's tweet of the week tonight, but I'm going to call it quote. I'm going to call it quote of the week since it didn't come on Twitter. And since this is a big topic we're just on, but this is a quote from Kambosos to Devin Haney. You were offered the fight months ago, and you played around. In the meantime, the great man Vitaly Lomachenko made it very simple to do anything to make it happen, and it was a done deal. But Lomo now has a bigger fight at the moment, which I totally respect. So let's see how much your word is true. Devin Haney, they offered you the same amount that Lomachenko agreed to. The ball is in your court, sir.
All right, I like it. Now, one thing we have to remember is Lomachenko was coming into it without a title. Devin Haney has a title, so he's going to try to use that title to negotiate a little bit more, which he has every right to do. My only problem with the situation is that you decided you were going to go with Lomachenko and it was going to be a quick deal and everything else. And now that's falling back. So now Kambosos' team is sitting there still waiting on someone else to agree to come to Australia because he is adamant that whoever he fights has got to go to Australia. Now, I don't want to bring up Horn and that Pacquiao fight, but that was a situation where it was highly controversial in the decisions that the judges made in certain rounds and what was allowed by the referee in some of those rounds. So if you're going to Australia and you're expecting that you're going to get a fair judging, I think you need to make sure that you know for sure you can knock your man out, because that's the only sure way that you can make sure that you don't have to rely on judges in Australia.
Shit, That's boxing judges overall.
Yeah, but you got the judges and you got the referees both like, you know, kind of like looking away like, oh, I didn't see that he elbowed you, you know. You know, oh, he headbutted you. I didn't see that. You know, so you just got to know, like, I mean, I know these are things that any of the lightweights are thinking, like, hey, I got to take my ass to Australia to do this fight. And, you know, there's all kinds of things that relate to your body and you know, being off your clock schedule and things like that to do with going to Australia. But then on top of that, you better make sure you got enough power that you can like literally take care of business that night. You got to go in there like an Alicia Baumgartner and just, you know, KO your lady. Have her standing up wondering, did I just have a fight? What's going on? Like, you got to make it like that. If you're going to go over in a UK territory or an Australian territory and you want to grab some belts, like you're trying to get the straps, you cannot leave that shit up to the judges.
That's true. That's true. Haney's, I don't know. I kind of want to see it, but again, that's second to Lomachenko. It is what it is. All right,
who's
guys.
the next one, though? I just want to know if that falls apart, who the heck is... Kambosos is sitting up there with 4 belts, and he is having a problem securing an opposition. So
People
who else
seen
could it
him
be?
fight Tio and was like, I don't want none of that. Even if you got belts, I don't want none of that. Because let's face it, I mean, I don't think fake Kambosos, even with those belts, is going to warrant that kind of money that, you know, maybe they want to risk for a possible loss, maybe possible even beatdown, because we all know Tio's a tough guy, and man, he took it to him. So I think he's...
Tio was off that night for sure. I think everybody can agree to that now.
I don't know.
But
I
that
think that
should not
first
take
round,
away...
I think he tried to get him out of there in that first round and kind of wore himself out. He just went balls to the wall and thought Kambosos wasn't nothing at all, and he found out otherwise. But
yeah, not to take anything away from Kambosos, because it was he showed like some slick boxing skills for sure. And I don't know why, like, look, with all them straps, I'm coming to see you. If I'm a boxer in that division, Devin Haney don't want it. Hey, all of that division should be on standby. They should all be like, okay, I'm gonna take them belts then. So I'm ready to see who's willing to take these belts, especially with the WBA threatening to take away taking away Devontae Tank Davis's belts if he doesn't fight his eliminator.
oh man,
I would love to see a Gervonta Tank Davis with all 4 of them straps.
So would I. That's a good matchup too.
Yes.
All right, guys. Been a great show. I want to thank everybody for coming on. Always, Robin Sakura, thank you so much. Don't forget to check us out all social media at Heavy Bag Boxing every Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, and we'll see you next week.